Hi, I'm Mia, and this is my first post-Halloween look. Also, I do apologize. I am not going to be 100% for this video because but I know my friend's going to be like, oh my god, you don't need to do a video, blah, 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 blah. Yes, I don't, especially not after what happened. But doing my makeup is therapeutic, and since I can't afford to go to therapy, may as well. But yeah, I'm not going to be on my, you know, A game today. Not going to lie here. So yeah, let's get into it, I guess. But I'm going to start with the Blend Bunny X May Pang Rodden palette, and I'm going to take a brush and some of the shade Damp, and I'm basically just going to pack that onto my brush, and then I'm going to press it all onto my lid. I am obviously going to go in, wow, that doesn't even show up on camera. I'm obviously going to go in with other colors. I just want like a little base for my other colors so they can pop and do their thing. But yeah, I'm wearing a color today for the first time on video, which is really funny because I should be in black right now. So I was supposed to have a double on Saturday. I was supposed to, you know, work my usual shift at my full-time job and then do a catering thing at night for my parents for their food truck. Yeah, I didn't do the second shift. Not that it's funny. No, it's not at all. I've been trying nonstop for 2 days, basically. My dog died on Saturday when I was at work. So, you know, my father had texted me. I left the house. She was, in the morning, she was fine. She was breathing a little weird, but she also just scarfed down her food. So, she's weird. But, you know, I didn't think too much of it, because I'm like, you know what? She eats weird. She breathes weird for a minute afterwards where she gets her bearings. Again, she's just a freak. Got a text from my father. He's like, hey, what time are you out? I'm like, hey. I'm like, I told you it's either 4 or 5. He's like, I'm like, why? I'm like, what's going on? Because I saw that they had canceled their vending shift during the day. He's like, oh, no way, nothing. He's like, I just wanted to, you know, go over tonight. I'm like, mom said to be at the commissary by 9. That's the plan. He's like, okay. And I'm like, okay, weirdo. I'm like, you can't. I told him that. I'm like, you can't just text vaguely like that because I think something's wrong. Lo and behold, oh, there's something in my eye. No, it's not tears. And then I'm gonna go into some of the shade Spoil and use that on like the outer edges very lightly. But I'm like, you know what? I didn't think too much of it. Because realistically, in the long run, he's a middle-aged man. Sometimes he just texts weird. Why isn't this layering properly? But you know, get home again. I still live with my family because living in the greater Boston area is expensive as hell. So, suffer. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you know, my mother's not here. My brother's not here. And I'm like, huh, my brother's phone is here. I'm like, huh, where's my dog? So she died while I was at work, and my father and my brother went up to bury her near my grandfather's cottage in New Hampshire. Which is just rude, by the way, because she did not like him. So she does not deserve to have to be stuck near him whenever he's not in Florida. Like, she despised the man, hated him. They never actually properly met, but like she can hear him through windows and stuff. She did not like him whatsoever. I mean, she didn't like a lot of men, but like she knew that I didn't like him, so she did not like him at all. But yeah, so good news, didn't have to do the shift on Saturday night. Bad news, don't have a dog now. So yeah. I'm gonna take some more of the Spoil shade on a little smaller brush and see if I can like build that up a little. And yes, I know I don't need to be doing a video so soon after because it's Monday. But again, makeup is a little therapeutic, and I don't have anything better to do if I am downstairs with all of her stuff down there too. not gonna be a good combination. And like I said that to my friend, I'm like I didn't want to go out today because Mondays are usual like shopping shenanigans, that kind of stuff. I'm like, I didn't even want to go out today, but I'm like, if I stay home alone, nothing good's gonna happen. Not like in a suicidal way, but just so I've been kind of in a state of numbness for 2 days. So yeah. And I'm gonna take some of the shade Oxygen and pack that on my brow bone. I'm sorry, I talked a little yesterday. I haven't talked like full coherent sentences a lot for the past 2 days, so I'm just gonna pack this up and kind of bring it down a little to blend in with that bluish shade. But yeah, I did go to the circus yesterday because I bought the tickets last Tuesday, so obviously I still had a dog then. But I went to the circus. I'm like, I already spent the money on this. I'm not going out. I'm not saying the number because my friend watches my channel and they went with me, so I don't want them to feel bad about how much I spent. So I'm like, I spent the money, may as well do something with it. And it did take my mind off it for a little while until a poodle act came out. I was sobbing. At least I was quiet about it, but I was like trying, watching the poodles do their little tricks. I'm like, okay, this is not great, but but you know, say lovey. But yeah, it's been a shit weekend. However, and this is gonna sound really bad because, you know, dog just died. I should be sad. I cannot wait until I to guilt trip customers and they go, oh, how was your weekend? And I just like start sobbing in front of them and I make pity tips. I think it's the Italian in me. And then on the flat edge of this brush, I'm going to take some of the shade Spoil and the tiniest bit of Mildew. I'm going to do my little, there we go. But no, obviously not an ideal situation, no matter how many times I try to joke about it to get my mind off of it. But again, didn't want to do my makeup because, again, in a state of, but if I'm downstairs with all of her stuff, they also apparently buried her with one of her lamb chops, and when I found that out, that only made me sob harder. So yay. I'm gonna be honest, this is gonna be it for guys. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going full hog today. It's just I need something to do. So I need to find some lashes. I do have a new pair from Marshall's that I still haven't used. So I need to find some lashes, but I should hopefully be back soon. Hello, I'm back with lashes on. I didn't end up wearing the lashes that I bought because there's just too much. I like a more flared out lash. Like, this is my perfect lash if they were just like maybe a little bigger sometimes. But like, there was too much lash clusters in the inner corner and I can't. And they were so big and I'm like, no. So I'll move on to base. And I promise I'm not going to talk about my dead dog for the entirety of the video. I will move on because I have a list of things, so. But I'm going to go in with the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewdrops. But yeah, went to the circus yesterday. I have never been. Like, that was my first time going. I won lottery tickets through Lucky Seed for the Big Apple Circus. I'm like, you know, I can get there by the train, I can walk, and then I can get home, and blah, blah, blah. So we went. I feel like every other performance was good. There's this one guy that my friend and I were like, wow, we kind of hate him. He wasn't even, like, he was definitely a performer for, like, the kids, because it was just a whole bunch of, like, goofy nonsense. But there was a guy, he was French, Pierre, who was doing, like, not even yo-yos, because it came off of, I can't even describe it, but in the end it turned into, like, a rave, and he was doing glow-in-the-dark stuff, and he's, like, emoting to everyone, and we're like, you know what, shout out Pierre. Gotta love him. And my friend was very disappointed because I didn't have any fire breathers. But I was happy because they saved the trapeze artist for last, and they're literally like my favorite part. Oh, and I'm going to Cirque du Soleil again because my mother bought the holiday tickets. She's like, oh, December 4th? I'm like, that's a Thursday at 7:30. I'm like, I need to leave early, or at least be out by 5. Because if they have me out at 6, I have time to go home. And I don't even have time to go home and change. I'd have to, like... So I'm gonna have to... whoever's working that day, I have to hope and pray that I'm out at 5. Because I can get home and change and before going back out. But... And then I'm going to go in with the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Glow Serum in the shade Main Squeeze. And I have a stupid donation order to do, which is so funny because we don't do donations anymore on a technicality because it's been taken off the website. But, you know, this girl called a few weeks ago. And I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, I will send all my information over to my manager. And when I sent the stuff to my manager, I figured that she was going to deal with it because I don't get paid enough to deal with this stuff. I'm not a manager. I should not be making these decisions. So I had to, she's like, oh yeah, we can do it, get in contact with her. I'm like, girl, why do you think I gave you her information so you can do it? But she's like, oh my god, we want 50 cookies. I'm like, girl. I'm like, and I'm not going to get tipped for it. I know I'm not. Because it's a donation for a school, which is what I find so stupid because I know they have budgets for this stuff. I'm like, girl, not even like an elementary school. This is a college with a pretty low acceptance rate. Like, I can do 50 cookies. Take it or leave it. You're getting free stuff, so you can't really complain. She's like, oh my god, how about 11? I'm like, I open at 11. You want individually wrapped cookies? You can come an hour later. I didn't say it like that, but I'm like, I can do 12, 15. She's like, okay, that's okay too. I'm like, it better be for free stuff. I wouldn't even think about calling a business to be like, oh my god, can I have donations just because we're a school? Like, we had that issue. I think it was the same school. Ages ago for 800 cookies because they were reselling them at an event. I'm like, so you get free cookies and you're selling them, and I'm like, that's illegal. But at least it's 50, not 800. I can deal with 50 cookies in the morning. But this is from Haus Labs. This is the Trichlone Skin Tech Foundation in the shade N70. I don't have a brush, but yeah, I have a nail appointment on Sunday. So, finally gonna get plain nails. Also, I have pimples right here that I was being so good at not popping them because I just bought new pimple patches. Like, that was the only thing I bought today when we were out. Because I'm like, I don't have the brain capacity to think about things that I want. I was basically going through the store. I'm like, do I deserve to be happy right now? And apparently the answer was no if all I let myself get was pimple patches. But I still have like an unopened bag of goldfish. And I have a now opened bag of Ghirardelli chocolates that I got last week, so really glad about those. They're Jack chocolate with the sea salt caramel. I'm not a heathen, but like I said, it's been a weekend. Again, I can't wait for a customer, not even a regular, because my regulars tip me, so that's fine. But like a customer that's being like rude, be like, why are you being like this? And I'll be like, well, my dog died, so. And they'll be like, oh shit. And then they'll feel bad. And again, it's the Italian in me. I know how to properly guilt trip people when it comes down to it. But I'm also really hoping that my manager comes back this month. Like, I'm really, really hoping. Because like my old manager, kind of former sister-in-law, kind of still sister-in-law, she left her baby daddy, who was my former, like my OG manager's brother. So obviously, like, she still has my old manager's, like, niece, her nephews, but like, I don't know. But she told me she was gonna let me know first and foremost, because if she doesn't come back this month, I'm transferring still. Because I can't live another 3 months with this lady who's not doing her job. Next, I'm going to go in with the Natasha Denona Hy-Glam Serum Concealer in the shade N0.5. Also, the other day, somebody on TikTok asked me how I got my eyebrows so even, and I've never felt like this is peak. I'm like, I will never be this good ever again. And honestly, luck, hopes, and thoughts and prayers. Honestly, I just go in and hope for the best. Just gonna blend this in. And like now I really don't want to go to that focus group thing. Shibaro, rightfully so. But like I still want $300. And they have a good, he even said it in the email today. Like, oh, just a reminder, blah, 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 this is what's happening. He's like, oh, anyone that gets sent home before 8, you know, whether it be bad mood, blah, blah, blah. They're like, he's like, they're gonna get a $150 Goodwill check. I'm like, I want that check. Because I don't want to be there. But like at the same time, I want $300. But at the same time, I also got my New Balances refunded because I returned those, and I got a refund from Telecharge. So I'm kind of set in the money department right now. But like $300. I'm gonna go in with the Milk Makeup Sculpt Stick in the shade Toasted. Toasted? Yeah. I couldn't remember if it was Toasted or just Toast. I know, I'm just doing contour today. Like, I don't want it to be like Y2K, but like, I want there to be reminiscent vibes, you know? So like, the baby blue eye, even if there's no shimmers, I want like the baby pink blush and a sparkly lip. So, I need something that will give me will to live, life, freedom, enjoyment. Enjoyment's a stretch, but yeah, no. I ended up returning my New Balances because they do women's and men's sizing. So I figured they were going to be a little wider than regular women's fit. Because if they're doing it for men's fit, men usually have slightly wider feet. So I'm like, okay, maybe it'll be wider than usual. So maybe I'll actually be able to get my foot. Nope. I undid the laces. I pulled out the tongue as far as it would go. The first half of my foot would not get in the shoe. I'm like damn. Like, I know I have wide feet and like high arches, but like, damn. Like, y'all are, this is just mean at this rate. Like, how dare you? But I returned them on Friday, and I got my refund yesterday. Not even, I got my refund on Saturday, which is so weird because most refunds get processed in a business day, and Saturday is not business day. But also, I did drink a Monster with me, so I am starting to feel a little more alive. Still not 100%, but... And then I'm gonna go in with the Essence Baby Got Blush in the shade, I think this is Tickled Me Pink, or Tickle Me Pink. What is this? Yeah, 10 Tickle Me Pink. I'm just using this more so as a base because I have powder blushes I'm gonna use for this. So I'm just gonna keep that right there. I hate how this smells so much. It smells like a fruity gum. And it's awful. Again, I just want this more as a base because I have two NYX blushes I want to use. One that I always use and one that's newish. Because I accidentally got it instead of another one. But I want a pink base. So. But yeah. Whatchamacallit. I was going to go see Death Becomes Her when I go to New York. Because even though I saw it in July, I'm like, I didn't see it with either of the lead-in ladies. So I'm like, you know what, I'll buy a March ticket when I go. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the lady that plays Madeline Ashton is leaving. So like, so when I originally called and lied. I'm like, hey, I'm coming from out of town. I have a Death Becomes Her ticket for this day. Turns out I have jury duty that I can't reschedule, so I need to leave earlier. I don't, but they don't need to know that. And she was like, oh, you can submit a request to have about a refund and we'll see if it gets approved. I'm like, last time when I called and said that I booked for the wrong date, which was true, I'm like, I booked it for the 6th, I'm going the 15th. Oh no, booked it a whole week earlier. She's like, oh yeah, I'll cancel that, no problem. But then literally the day after, I got an email, it's like, oh, Megan Hilty will not be at your performance. Call to get a refund. And I went, great. So I called them the next morning, got a refund, no problem. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I still got my refund, and again, it's already been processed, so like, but still. But I'm gonna go in with the NYX Professional Makeup Buttermelt Blush in the shade Butter Together, which is just the baby pink. But, ow, I closed this on my finger. I said to my friend yesterday, I'm like, I'm sure the performance with whoever will be cast there then will be fine. However, I bought front row mezzanine tickets. I am not keeping front row mezzanine tickets for people that I did not plan on seeing. And again, I'm sure it will be a fine performance. However, those prices are reserved for the people that I want to see. And I was saying that maybe if push comes to shove, if I can get lottery or rush tickets, or I can get cheap tickets, I'll think about seeing it when I'm there. But like, I'm not gonna keep the splurge tickets for not the original cast. So, say la vie. And then also, still NYX Professional makeup, still Buttermelt blush, new shade. This is Getting Butter. I accidentally got this instead of like a terracotta shade. Like I said, I wasn't looking at the packaging properly. This is supposed to be described as like a cool bright pink, so figured I can keep this up here and still have it kind of tie in to be like that, you know, pink baby doll kind of look. But yeah, nothing is ideal right now. And that, like, I would never wear like the what shade is this again? Getting Butter shade by itself, but I feel like it's good for like this specific. There's hair on my face. Like not blush contouring, but like gradient layering. Ooh, and I have weed gummies out for delivery because that's a thing apparently. I keep getting ads from this brand Earth Wellness, and they're like, oh, you know, get up to $15 worth of free like samples because it's 2 per pack, and just pay shipping. So I paid $9.44 for 5 packs of sample gummies, so 10 gummies in total. So they're all for delivery. I got like more, not like exciting ones, but like creative, inspired, energetic, instead of sleepy and relaxed like I usually do. And then I'm taking the Colourpop Super Shock Cheek Pearlize in the shade Seismic. Oh, so my neighbor is moving out tomorrow, thank God, because the sister caused a whole bunch of miscommunication on her end, so she's all upset at us, or more specifically my grandfather. So in retaliation, because he doesn't live here, he's here maybe 3 days a year, like at the house, she decided to throw dry, uncooked pasta shells down the driveway and down the front of the stairs last week. So that was fun. But, you know, she was all up in arms. She's like, we have movers coming on the 28th, blah, 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 blah. And my father's like, I don't care. He's like, you paid October, you have until the end of October. We're also changing the locks November 1st because we don't trust her. Also, it turns out it's my neighbor's sister-in-law, not her sister. Doesn't matter that much. But we're like, we don't trust her. We're changing the locks. Well, at least they said they're just gonna change like the locks to her apartment and not the front door. I'm like I understand because it's more people to get keys changed if we do the front door, but I'm a little upset that I'm not gonna be home tomorrow, theoretically. But if the movers are there when I leave tomorrow or come home, I'm gonna be a little inconvenient and just like close the door on them. Because like obviously they're gonna have the front door and her door open so they can move stuff out. I'm just gonna be a little inconvenient and close the door behind me like a responsible person. My father said not to be petty like him, but like I think I deserve it right now. But last but not least, lips, thank God. I also need to shower tonight now, because if I go out tomorrow I need to be like clean and have fresh hair when I usually shower Tuesday night, so this is just messing my schedule all up. But this is from MAC. This is the lip liner in Cool Spice, and I'm just gonna I'm not gonna worry too much about overlining with this shade because I do have another shade I want to use with it. So, just gonna and luckily most of my lip balm has absorbed. Yay me. And then I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip liner, and this is not the right one. This is the right one. Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Liner in the shade Deep Taupe, just because this is a little deeper so I can use it to use a little more definition. So, gonna focus most of that on the spots that I would generally overline. Yeah, and then I'm just gonna blend this out a little like usual. Oh, there's also apparently a whole bunch of Halloween bar crawls Saturday night, because I saw a million dressed up drunk college students, and a group of them decided it was a good idea to try to run, and one of them tripped and ate pavement in front of the old State House, and it was beautiful. Beautiful. I'm just going to take a little bit of the Tickled Me Pink blush from Essence, just kind of press it into the middle of my lip. Just a little to bring a little more color back in for the product I want to use on top. I still hate how this smells. I just had an awful, horrible idea and I had to text my friend to see if they approve of it. This is from Fenty. This is the Gloss Bomb High-Shimmer Gloss Stick in the shade How Many Carats. I've been loving this on top of this specific kind of lip. Like a cooler lip liner with like pink center and just sparkles. I also just feel like it's the quintessential Y2K lip kind of look. And like, even though it's not 100% what I'm given, but like it was the original vibes of this. I'm just gonna, I know I don't have any shimmers on my lips, but not my lips, my eyes. I feel like it still works because of the specific tone of highlighter that I used. Alright, I need to go fix my bangs, but I will be back in a second. Alright, and this is the finished look. I don't hate it. Not gonna lie. Again, I'm just so glad not to be doing Halloween looks anymore. Again, never let me do a month of dedicated videos for anything ever again. Like, I'll do my 2 or 3 Pride looks, call it a day. 2 or 3 Halloween looks, call it a day. You might get one Christmas look out of me. And that's because I generally don't care for Christmas. But yeah, like, I know the eyes could have been more. But again, do you really expect me to do anything right now? You're lucky. I'm lucky I got this done. But yeah.